Hello Davin peeps, and welcome to another video. Now today's video is a little bit different. I like odd things and I like ugly things and I like weird things, and sometimes when you look at Jane's beautiful range you can't really see anything odd and ugly, and it's all pretty and perfect and stunning, and sometimes that scares me. So today I decided to challenge myself to make some pretty ugly things with Jane's supplies. So I have created a small journal inspiration video for you guys to follow along with and to give you permission to embrace your odd. So I hope you enjoy this video and I'll talk to you at the end.
So using the Neutrals palette, I also do use the Brights palette, so don't fear, you can use either palettes to create this. It is so easy and simple, you know, that's what I'm like, instant gratification. I am just making some face-like blobs. So I'm using a face base and then I'm just adding some cheeks and where the eyes would be, the lips, all that sort of thing. Not really worrying about position, just the general kind of look and shape of a face, and that is all I'm doing to begin with. So get a bit messy, loosen up a little bit, grab your palette and let's make some blobby faces. This is to try and let you let go a little bit, trying to let you not stress a little bit. Art is meant to be fun and I firmly believe that. So this is a non-stress, stress-free exercise. So making blobby faces, don't worry if they don't look awesome. Sometimes the ones that look the ugliest turn out the best. So I'm just using a Stabilo pencil here, and that's because I love how black it is when activated with water. You can use any type of watercolor pencil, watercolor graphite, that sort of thing, and I am just creating basic face shapes with my pencil and also grabbing out some Jane Davenport washi to make some really funky eyes. I love one big eye, one small eye, that's just my thing. I did it with the Whimsy Warriors, but this looks so cool with the Jane washi tape. So I'm just adding a big eyeball to my face and then activating that Stabilo pencil with water to give a bit of definition and a bit of line work. I really, really love how stark black it is. I'm then going in with my mermaid markers because they are so punchy and bold and just giving big cheeks. So I've decided to do a couple for you guys, also using the rub-ons as well for some of the facial features. So trying not to hoard all your pretty Jane things, it's time to get them out and use them and create an army of odd. As you can see, I've created these faces on watercolor paper. So if you've got scraps of watercolor paper lying around, this is probably the best way to use them up because I do collage them into my journal. So if you feel like you're a little bit stressed about putting them straight into your journal, this is a great way to alleviate that stress. I love using scraps of paper. Things seem to turn out better when I do them on scraps of paper because the fact that you need to perform is gone, basically. So that stress about using it in your journal and worrying if it's going to be good enough, that sort of is gone when you're just using scraps. So if you've got a little bit of journal anxiety, scraps are your BFF. As you can see, I'm just using those rub-ons there and using the back side of my Stabilo pencil, so the end of it, to use as my rub-on tool. And then you can see that I've used one of the rub-ons from the nose and the lips and then the washi tape eye, and I really think they look awesome together. They look so strange and obscure, but that's the kind of thing I'm going for. So this is the face that I used using the Brights palette. Like I said, you can use the Neutrals or the Brights, and I do love the way that the watercolor flows. You can't really repeat it. It's not something you can control, and I love the creative freedom that this gives you. So if you're always trying to control things, then this might be the best thing for you. So I'm just grabbing my journal out and I'm cutting around the faces. Like I said, I was going to collage them, and this is where we can create patterned tops with our collage papers and the scrapbook papers and the washi tape. So we're going to create some clothing for our little oddball. And like I said, my favorite thing to do is to collage, so that's what we're going to do. So I've glued her down, and then I've just sort of outlined where I want her top to be and her neck and all that sort of thing. I try very hard not to make anything perfect. I seem to hold my pencil really far away from me so I don't have much control, and I kind of enjoy that. So I'm just grabbing some watercolors from the Brights palette and giving her some messy, fun hair. No worries, very simple, very easy to do. And then it is time to get down and draw a little bit of a neck. I like stripy necks. They are one of my favorite things to do. And now I'm just creating her clothing, and doing this is such a fun thing to do, using the rub-ons, using the washi tape, and using the scrapbook papers to just create a pattern top, kind of like a creative ugly sweater almost. But I had a blast making her clothing. Probably the most fun I have is to create the clothing, scalloping edges and stuff. You can make a completely new pattern just with shapes and simple things like scalloping an edge of a piece of paper, drawing over the top, adding some line work, and before you know it, you've got a very creative use for all the little bits and pieces that have just been lying around. A lot of the things that you can create the clothing with is just using your scraps to make the clothing. Very, very fun and very simple to do. So I'm just adding some pattern work to those pieces of paper just to make them more my own, just using a black pen. You can use your Incredible pen. I have red ink in mine, which is why I'm not using it at the moment. But just that's what kind of makes it your own, is by adding your own little details to it that no one else would do. So this is how you customize your clothing. And I'm just doing a weird little collar with some strips of paper. Like I said, pattern work is so simple and you can get super, super creative. This is a really basic version for you guys so that no one freaks out. And then I'm just doing a little bit of a border and just dabbling with my pen, and I got my mermaid marker to add a base color of the top so it looks more cohesive, and I'm just wetting that down and covering it all up so it looks like the original top is yellow and then all the other stuff is just pattern work. It's just, I really love it. I'm just using a white Signo pen. You can use your paint over pens, and just doing some little details in her hair just to make that pop off the blue, and just using my Stabilo pen, a pencil again, to just add a little bit of background color, and then I go in with my Brights palette and just add some background color to my page. So when it comes time to journal, I'm not faced with just a single element. So I like to make messy colored backgrounds around my girls, and we're ready to go.
Now that you've seen what I've created, you can also create your own little army of odd. I loved doing this. These were ones that I created using my own stuff, and that was what made a jumping off point for using Jane's things as well. So using her rub-ons and her beautiful washi tape really lends itself well to creating strange and beautiful things. Creating your own fabrics, using the washi tape, using collage elements. Creating something from nothing is one of the most self-satisfying feelings that I get, and that is why collage is one of my favorite things. It's something that I love to do. It's something that I do when I'm stressed and I'm feeling anxious. I will sit down with a pile of ephemera, a pile of like scrap paper and stuff in my little pouch that I carry around, and I will collage and I will create things from nothing. And that's kind of how these guys and the Army of Odd was something that I came up with. Now, you can also do other things with Jane Supplies, you can use your eye tape. I was going to do a tutorial on this, but it's kind of not meaty enough to do a tutorial on, so I thought I'd just show you in this video because it's kind of odd and obscure. So taking some of Jane's beautiful, stunning eye washi tape that is everyone's favorite, including mine, I actually turned them into monsters, and trying to think outside the box, trying to think and use my imagination. I feel as we get older and stray away from our like kid-like behaviors, I don't think our imaginations get pushed enough. I think we don't use that imagination muscle enough. So I have tried to make sure every day that I try and create things that don't exist, and little monsters, and turning one of the eyes upside down, turning it into a mouth, that sort of thing, creating sort of weird and wonderful things with Jane Supplies. It has been a real challenge, and it does exercise that imagination muscle. So I really, really urge you to embrace your oddball, your inner oddball, and create some really quirky, wonderful things. The stranger the better, in my opinion, with some of Jane's Supplies. So I started creating a creature coming out of this girl, that sort of thing. Embrace that crazy, strange, doesn't make sense sort of ordeal. And that is where this whole thing blossomed from. So that is my video for you today. I hope you start creating your own army of odd. If you do, show it on the Facebook group. You guys have been amazing with the Whimsy Warriors and showing off all the cool things that you've been doing. So this is your next version of it. I want to see your crazy side. I want to see your strange side. Show it to me because it's my very, very favorite. So I can't wait to see what you guys create. Have a wonderful week and enjoy. Bye.